Hi, hello. My name is Priyanshu, and I'm a digital marketer. This video is aimed at explaining how to perform the HubSpot Mailchimp integration. HubSpot is a central CRM. Mailchimp is a email marketing engine, which also offers CRM services. But people tend to use HubSpot because of the utility, and some people consider the features to be richer on HubSpot than Mailchimp. Yeah, so that's why am I making this video? There's a part one to this video, not a part one really. There is a you know introduction, so to speak, to this video in the previous video, which is on the platform, I think, and it basically talks about HubSpot and Klenty, which is another email marketing engine integration. And now the standoff happens between HubSpot and Mailchimp is because HubSpot has its own email marketing engine, right, which is a paid feature. They don't want their customers to migrate to another email marketing engine without proper reason, right? And as a business strategy or whatever you might call it, they don't have a clear cut integration with Mailchimp. So you have to go around a number of ways, and it's very difficult setting up triggers on Mailchimp. These two processes, so the entire thing has to be automated, right? So this entire customer journey from being a cold lead, being added to the list, wherever you get the lead from. I mean, it could be LinkedIn or whatever. To finally, the entire the set of emails that goes out, the communication that goes out, the branching that happens, and then finally, either in a sale or in a retargeting mode, this entire thing has to be automated because one cannot. Because today you have one contact when you're setting it up, tomorrow you'll have 10, the day after you'll have 100. So it doesn't work like that, right? You have to have a proper engine setup. And while doing that, digital marketers face a lot of issues because HubSpot and Mailchimp are not usually, I mean, indirectly you can say they don't work in sync, they don't work in tandem. So there's a lot of technicalities involved. And a third-party tool called Zapier gets involved. Yeah. So these three tools in a congruence, in all togetherness, they kind of make the job simpler, which is way more simpler on another email marketing engine called Klenty. So if you're looking to set up a customer relationship journey, consider Klenty. There's a video on that. It's way more easy. What I'm going to do in this video is very difficult. I'll probably have to break it down into two parts, right? So that's it. That's about this video. That's why I'm doing it, because I faced a lot of trouble while doing it, and I don't. I think this will be useful video for a lot of marketeers, especially who are into email marketing. The second thing is that you should be knowing is, let me tell you about what we are going to do in this video. So we have a contact that we have gotten from somewhere. It's basically my dump mail ID, and this contact resembles one of your leads, right? Now, the lead building process is a lot more different, and there's a lot of parameters to that. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to export from us. So we're going to start at a CSV file, because everything comes down to a CSV file, right? CSV file, right? So we're going to start with the CSV file. We're going to import that contact on HubSpot, which is my central CRM, right? And from HubSpot, what we ideally want to do, and I'm not talking technical, what we ideally want to do is we want to start a customer journey, meaning that we want to start sending out mails and start a conversation with them based on how they react, right? If they talk back to us, if they open our mail, if they click on our mail. So as they go through the journey of from being a cold lead to a warm lead to a hot lead, right? We want to automate that entire process and accordingly update two platforms, HubSpot itself. So whatever happens on Mailchimp, our intention is to update it back to HubSpot. So if just a second, let me turn off my phone. Yeah. So the intention is to update it back to HubSpot, and also kind of manage the entire thing on Mailchimp, automate replies, not automate replies, automate the entire flow. Yeah. And also check out for replies and all that. To do that, we'll be using 4 software, basically: HubSpot as a central CRM, Mailchimp as a central email marketing engine, Zapier as the integrating agent that integrates Mailchimp and HubSpot. And finally, Microsoft Excel for the CSV files, right? That's the target. That's the motive of this video, that somebody is added on HubSpot. It goes to a list, to a specific list on HubSpot. That list is exported to Mailchimp on a regular basis automatically, automated wise. It is exported to Mailchimp. Mailchimp starts a customer journey. An entire customer journey happens. Hi, hello. He replies one kind of reply. He doesn't reply, another kind of reply. Customer journey happens. Mailchimp sends signals back to, or sends tags back to HubSpot telling, hey, listen, this contact is in this phase. He's a hot lead, he's a warm lead, he's a cold lead, right? And then either that ends in a sale, whatever your website does. If you're providing services, it ends in a call, a demo call, or a quote call. If you're selling products on your website, you have a Shopify account, maybe it should end in a sale or an add to cart, process. That's how it is. That's the journey we're looking at, right? And it's gonna be long, so bear with me. Any point you have trouble, you can rewind the video, watch it again. You can reach out to me if you want to. I'm available. So yeah, let's start. First of all, let me show you the 2 Excel files that I have that we'll be using. So let's go into this, and let's go into today's date, Excels. So we have 2 Excel files over here. One is an original file and one is an add-on file. Original file basically has all the, it has the, hold on, so my screen's freezing. Yeah, it has the one of the starting contacts, and so we'll be using this contact for entirely setting up the automation. And the tagged add-on, this file has another contact, which is, I think, Elon Gates. Yeah, Elon Gates, this guy. This person will be used as a test to finally test what we have set up. It's a very here and there. So there's a lot of moving parts over here. So we might have to come back forth and all of that. So I recommend that you go through this video in phases and then set it up accordingly. Yeah, I've done the setup before. I've completely integrated for one of my clients. That's why I'm putting out this video, because it's possible, and you can track customer journey on HubSpot. It's not impossible. Difficult, but not impossible, right? So I'm closing this. So let's go to, let's change the background. Yeah, let's go to our browser, which is this one. And here we're gonna, here we're gonna start off with, this is the HubSpot account that we have. So first of all, we want, let me go to lists. Yeah. So this is a marketing premium HubSpot account. It allows what we're going to do. The free plan doesn't allow it. So I believe that if you're watching this video, you have come to that level where you're using a premium account, because it's very specific, very niche, this video. So first thing what we're going to do is we're going to create a dynamic list that picks up contacts from based on a tag. So when I add a contact, tagging it let's say red or blue, there should be a dynamic list that identifies the red contacts, picks them up, stores them. And there should be another list that picks up the blue contacts and stores them. These are 2 customer personas, potential customer personas that you have. Like I had explained in the previous video, let's say you are a shoe selling, you sell footwear, right? And you have a range of sports footwear, which is targeted for men between the age of 20 and 30, 35, 40. And then there's heels, maybe, and I'm not good with women's shoes, but I'm just saying maybe heels, right? So that's targeted women between, let's say, 20 to 30, 35, 40 again. But these 2 are different customer personas. They're very different, right, from each other. So the communication has also to be very different. You have to talk to your first A, let's call them A and B, right, the customer personas. So if you talk to your A list in a separate way, and if you talk to your B list in a separate way, and you need to automate that entire process. You can't keep differentiating that. So the first step in doing that is to create 2 lists, dynamic lists, which pick up contacts based on tags from the mother contact list. Yeah, because you can't come in every day and segregate the list, right? So we'll do that. So the first thing we're going to do is create a list. I have to remove myself. Hold on. Yeah. So we create a list over here, and let me put this down here. Yeah. And it has to be an active list which adds contacts dynamically. Let's call it that. So we're going to show on work with only one list, and then you can kind of integrate that into 2, 3, 4 lists, whatever you want. Once the concept is clear, once you do it one time, the rest should be easy. So let's call this tagged red, I don't know, dynamic list. Yeah, this is an active list. If we click on next, contact properties should ideally hold. Before we do this, we should ideally set up a contact as well, uh, which is why then what happens in that case right now, if I set this is the filter, right? This is the filter for this particular list, who appear on this list. This filter defines that. Now, if I do this right now without adding a contact, what happens is I end up not having anything. So I can't create the list. There has to be at least one contact matching my criteria, right? So I'll go back, I'll create a contact first, leave this page, and let me go. Did I have a, no, I don't have a list. So let's start importing first. Yeah. First, import the list, import the CSV file that we already have, the one we're going to move with. So let me do that first. And this seems to be taking a huge amount of time. And yeah, this is the problem. Let me try again. This happens because HubSpot refreshes cookies every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So let's start an import from a CSV file. And again, I have to move myself. Can we put this in the left maybe? Yeah, I think this works. So I click on next, and I click on one file, next, one object. What these things mean a lot of different things. Feel free to kind of browse through knowledge base to kind of have an idea what these things mean. You could use them later stage. We don't need it right now, but you could do it at later stage. So let's go to desktop. That's where my files are, and Excel. Yeah. So original one. This is the list that I have, the original list, and I'm going to open this. It's here, and I click on next. I have to map the specifics over here. So basically, first name maps to first name, last name to last name, email ID to email ID, tag to tag. Now, what we have to do over here, this tag function is not available inherently on HubSpot. So I have created the tag function for my client. Now let's do something. Let's say you don't have it. So we'll create a new property. Yeah. So you could kind of, on the basis of this tag, understand that on the basis of this tag, the entire contact, the list will run. The list will be figured out, right? So let's create a new tag, create a new property. It will be part of. It will be part of the contact information group. We already have. So let's name this Mailchimp. Yeah, MC. Demo tag. Yeah. And we don't need to provide a description as of now. Let's select next. The field type has to be single line text. And yeah, create this. Right. So tag is mapped to MC demo tag on HubSpot. These are the your columns on the Excel file that we had, and these are the HubSpot properties that they're being tagged to, right? So we click on next, and don't create a list. Don't do this because we have a static list, or we will create a dynamic list that will pick this up. So we click on I agree, finish import, and this import is being processed. Meanwhile, let's go and find. Let's click on this. And over here, we create a list, and it's an active list, like I had mentioned. So let's call it tagged red dynamic list. Yeah, dynamic list MC for Mailchimp. Yeah. So active list. I click on next. There aren't any contacts because I haven't set the filter condition. Let's click on contact properties. And what was the tag that we used? MC demo tag, right? This one. So we click on MC demo tag, and MC demo tag is equal to any of tag red was the tag that we used in the Excel file. Yeah. So if you don't understand this part, go back to the Excel file that I showed. And over there, the tag section had a tag which is called tagged red. So I'm trying to create a dynamic list that will include contacts from the mother list the moment they're added, based on the fact that their tag refers to tagged red, this value. And the moment I do that, you'll see that you have a contact over here, right? This guy. And let's save this list. Now understand that this is a dynamic list. This will keep updating as and when I add new contacts based on the tag that they have. If they have tagged red this value as their tag, this list will keep updating. Now my next target is to push this to Mailchimp, and once this is on Mailchimp, have a proper customer journey set up with them, right? So let's do that now. So I go to Mailchimp, and over here, this is my client account once again. Let's um, yeah, let's go to so let's create a tag on Mailchimp as well, right? So I'll tell you why I'm creating a tag. This Mailchimp operates on tags, and this is where it starts getting complex. Klenty is not this complex, but on Mailchimp you have to create a tag. So let's create a tag over here. Let's name it tag red, and we create this tag. It will be here. Next up, yeah. So tag red, this tag is present. Now we come to so Mailchimp has this one ready. The next step is to be able to integrate. The next step is to be able to integrate the contacts on HubSpot to Mailchimp. But that will be done in two parts. Number one, first, the contact will move as a raw file between raw contact, right? It won't be segregated. The moment a contact is added, Mailchimp picks that up. Yeah. So that's the first thing that will happen. Yeah. The one thing is that it might already have imported because it's already set up from my end. I'll just check 1 second. Two contacts, and Bill Musk has already been imported. Why has that happened? Because I had already set up this automation that I was going to show you on Zapier, right? These are the zaps that I have on. Now, how does Zapier work? You could kind of have a YouTube video on that. You could speak with the customer management team. Basically integrates to high performing platforms. Bill Musk, without even automating the process, it has already happened on this video because of the fact that it was already set up by me. I should have turned all of these zaps off. Then it would have been easy. But that's fine. Let me show you how to create a zap over here. So the next step is to go to Zapier and set up a zap. Now, how to set up a zap? What just happened was one particular contact was imported from HubSpot to Mailchimp as a parent contact. It is not yet tagged to anything on Mailchimp. On HubSpot, it is tagged, but not on Mailchimp. Yeah. So so I'll show you the zap that made this happen. The zap that made this happen was HubSpot to Mailchimp subscriber. Now, like I told you, the import will happen in two phases. Number one, first, this zap will run to import the contact from HubSpot to Mailchimp. There will be a second zap that runs that kind of tags that imported contact already to a tag on Mailchimp. So the contact is imported. So look at it like in this way. Step one, my contact goes to Mailchimp. Step two, he is on Mailchimp. He is assigned to a specific tag. Step three, this particular tag, this list that contains this tag on Mail. Now we're talking about Mailchimp. This tag starts a customer journey, which is another different phase altogether. Let's talk about that later. So I'll show you the first one of these, how this zap has been set up. Zapier is not complex, but it's not very easy as well because there's a lot of test functions that run over here. So you have to be careful about what triggers you set, what actions happen because of that. One trigger can have multiple actions, as you can see over here. And you could kind of work between them. So let's look at the new contact in HubSpot. Choose app and event. I don't need to basically the app is HubSpot, and the trigger event, that the factor that triggers this particular zap runs right from an interval of time. I think on Zapier it runs at every 3 minutes, right? Once again, it could be an account thing, it could be a premium subscription thing where it runs faster. So explore that. So the app I've selected is HubSpot. So now the integration is happening between HubSpot and Mailchimp. This Zap has been set up to integrate HubSpot and Mailchimp. So the trigger is in HubSpot. The account is this. The trigger event is new contact. The account I've selected my particular account that is there, HubSpot account that I've used. And then the setup trigger is basically here. So what I've done over here, so Zapier does this. It gives you an option to kind of retrieve all the properties that you want to from HubSpot. And I have specifically also imported the tag, the tag function that I have on Zapier, on HubSpot. So I've added additional properties to retrieve. That's one. And finally, you test that trigger, right? This basically happens when you add a new contact. So you have to add a specifically new contact, and they have to test this trigger, and it'll pop up right there, right? So so that's how you set it up. Now, how do you add or update the subscriber? So for a new contact being added on HubSpot contact list, that's the trigger. What happens on HubSpot is this. The app and event, I'm not showing this because the app is Mailchimp and the event is add or update subscriber. So because of that, the action, the cause is a new contact being added on Mailchimp. The effect is a new subscriber is added or an existing subscriber is updated on Mailchimp. That's the effect. The account, of course, I've chosen my client's account, so let's not go there. The third one is your setup action. Now, what happens, right? What happens is basically the email ID is mapped, right? The transfer happens from HubSpot to Mailchimp, and you have to specify the contact information over here, right? It pops up like, once you click on one of these things, it pops up like this. So you click on the first name. First name maps to, so this is the mapping basically. What we're looking at right now is basically the mapping. First name maps to first name, last name maps to last name. Yeah, last name. And contact information is the property. Yeah. So you'll understand this a lot better if you understand object-oriented programming, Java, or maybe Python. Big scale, but it will be easy for you to understand. That happens, and then finally, once again, you test this action and you turn the Zap on. What this Zap does is it bluntly imports a contact from HubSpot to Mailchimp and stores it on Mailchimp as a subscriber. My next thing would be to add that subscriber to a tag. Yes. So my next thing would be to add the subscriber to a tag. How do I do that? I create another Zap, and if you look, and let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Probably it will have a little bit of problem running, but let's try anyways. Yeah, so it will be easy. So my next target is to add that to a tag. Yeah. The subscriber is already present in Mailchimp. Understand that it's on HubSpot, it's on Mailchimp. One Zap has run to integrate these two. My next step is on Mailchimp to kind of add that to a Zap, add that to a tag. So and how am I going to do that? Here's what I'm going to do. Remember how on HubSpot, once a contact was added, it went to a specific list. Yes, it went to a dynamic list that we created. Yes, let us look at that list. This one, tagged red dynamic list MC. I want to create a Zap that is initiated the moment this list on HubSpot has a new contact. And what does it do? That's the cause. That's the trigger, right? And what does it do? That's the trigger. Yeah. It basically goes to Mailchimp, picks out the same contact, adds a tag to that. So Mailchimp now knows what tag it is. Mailchimp now knows that this subscriber was imported like 5 minutes back, but now it is tagged like this. It is a tagged red tag. And then based on that, I can start customer journeys in Mailchimp. Yeah, it's confusing, I know, but that's how it is, So what is the app event? What is my trigger? The trigger is HubSpot. And the trigger event is a new contact in list. Understand this, a new contact in list. So a new contact was added to Mailchimp. Now I'm specifically targeting a new contact in a specific list. The moment this happens, what happens on Mailchimp? It gets tagged. I'll show you that. So new contact in list, continue, choose account. This is my client account. Let's use this. Continue. Yeah. We're going to set up the trigger here, which is additional properties to retrieve. You don't need to retrieve any additional properties. Let's just choose the contact list. Which contact list we're looking at? Now, lists are basically what we created, right? So remember that this is the list we created. tagged red dynamic list MC, right? So we use this list, and this should be good. Now we're gonna test it. So Zapier is gonna test a new contact being added to the list, if the list exists or not, if your account is right or not, right? The trigger is being tested. And let's wait for a while. Yeah, they found a contact, and they found what contact? They found the contact Bill, and they found whose email ID was, this email ID, and whose last name was, where is his last name? Bill Musk, yeah. So Bill Musk has been found by Zapier because Bill Musk has been recently added to the list. That's why. So that's it. So the test is successful. We continue. The trigger is successful. Now we go to the action. What happens because of this? So now I go to Mailchimp. Now action happens on Mailchimp. And I choose an event, and here, add subscriber to tag. So subscriber already exists because the import has happened. Another Zap has already worked on that, yes? So now the tagging will happen. So add subscriber to tag, and I continue. Account is, once again, my client account. We continue. Audience, right? Audience will be, there'll be one audience that we have over here. The tag will be important. Now this is the tag, this is important. Tagged red. So they will be at the subscriber that was there would be added to tagged red. Yeah, so tagged red. And finally, I have to explicitly mention the email ID, which is this particular property. Yes, this is the property that we're looking at. Email, this is the mapping happening, email to email. So I do this, and hopefully I continue. Good. So we'll do a test. Let's hope it works. If it doesn't, that means that, yeah, oh, good, it worked. So a subscriber was sent to Mailchimp, right? And this guy was tagged as tagged red, and I'll show you that. Let's try to find that, what happened. So here are we, all contacts, yes. And over here, let's reload this page, because let's refresh this page. Over here, you look at, this is the email ID, Bill Musk is the one we're talking about. So what happens is now this guy's tagged red. Yeah, understand that this guy's tagged red. Why? Because of the fact that that second Zap run, the testing happened, the test Zap run, this Zap run. So I'm turning on this Zap, yes, so that this is an automated process. I don't have to do it manually every single time. And now this guy tagged red is present in Mailchimp. It is tagged properly. Good. What now? What next? Now we have to create a customer journey. Now we move to Mailchimp. The integration is successful. Now, like, this is where Mailchimp comes into play. Now, there's a second part to this video where there's a reverse integration, like Mailchimp talks to HubSpot. If you look at, if I can show you my Zaps, then probably let's name this, rename this Zap. What was the name? Tagged red from Mailchimp. Sorry, HubSpot to Mailchimp. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is good. Now, after the customer journey is possible, like, now what happens now happens on Mailchimp, right? Mailchimp interacts with the customer itself, but HubSpot doesn't have any idea of what's happening at that end. So we would like to also update HubSpot, right? And for that, we use a separate process. We use a separate list, and we work in a separate way, which is a long thing. Like, if you look at these two, these are integrations between HubSpot to Mailchimp. This is the HubSpot icon. This is the Mailchimp icon. These are integrations. But then I've created two more integrations where Mailchimp to HubSpot integration, like Mailchimp responds back to HubSpot. Hey, listen, this is a warm lead. Hey, listen, this is a cold lead. This guy never responded, or this guy opened your mails, right? There's a journey going on in Mailchimp, but HubSpot should be aware of that, because HubSpot is my central CRM. It has to be always updated of every contact, right? So these two Zaps are there. I'm not going to show this part because this is a lot more complex. We create a separate list and then we tag it back. Plus, it's technical as well. There's a huge amount of values in there to take care of, IDs to take care of. Let's not go into that. So I'll just show you this part. So this is the integration. You could switch off over here if you're here for the integration. If you want to see how to set up a customer journey, yeah, then you can continue watching this video. So let's go to the Mailchimp right now. We are on Mailchimp. And I want to create a customer journey with people tagged red, tagged underscore red. I want to start a customer journey with them. I want to talk to them. I want to send them a email, first email, a welcome email. If they respond, I want to send them a separate email. Hey, you opened my email. Here's some more things you could check out. If they don't respond, I want to send them a follow-up email. Hey, remember us? We sent you an email last day. So I want to create that customer journey. I'm going to create it in a very simple 3-block thing, just 3 things. First phase, a welcome email. If he responds, then we go to a second block, which is a special email, special attention email. And if he doesn't, then he goes to a follow-up email. He's basically into a follow-up email. And accordingly, his tags also change. I mean, if he responds, that makes him a warm lead. Yes. If you don't understand warm, cold, and hot leads, I've explained it. I mean, first of all, you should watch videos on YouTube. It's one of the critical things that you should understand as a digital marketer. If you don't still, I've explained it in one of my Klenty videos, but the video that explains the Klenty and HubSpot integration. I'll put the link in the description, and you could check that as well. Now, so as I was speaking, so the warm lead goes to a separate branching, right? And the warm lead now is tagged warm and is fed back to HubSpot. Hey, this lead is warm. So that's the whole process. The other one is that the lead doesn't respond. He stays a cold lead. He doesn't open my mail. The mail lands in spam. Yeah, he doesn't open. So that's a cold lead. That entire. So there are 2 ways to it. The branching will happen, and I'll show you. Good thing about Mailchimp is the customer branching process is very, very, very fluid, and it's visual. So it will be easy for you to understand. I would say it's even better than Klenty. Klenty might be easy for the integration part of things, but Mailchimp is easy when it comes to customer journeys. Okay, so let's start this. We go to campaigns, and I don't think you should be going to campaigns. Let me find this thing. Yeah. So let's go to tags. How do we hold on? So if I particularly go to tag red is what we're looking at, right? And we want to create a customer journey with tagged red, tagged these people, right? So can we do it from here? I don't remember. Let me find this. It should be somewhere. Sign up for tag service, preferences center, audience dashboard. Let's go to campaigns again, email templates, automations. Did we just see customer journey somewhere? Yes. Yeah, we did. This is where you automations spec, you'll find customer journeys. Yes. So let's start building one. Yeah, for tagged red customers, potential customers. Yeah. So let's call it customer journey for tagged red customers. And we start building. And contact is added when. So how will a contact start their journey? Simple. So contact is added when contact activity joins audience groups. You could work with this. Audience field changes. You could work with this. Give me a little of time. So let's go with this one. And the audience field that we're going to select should have been tagged, but it's not here. So hold on. Let me just kind of let's go to contact activities and okay, it was right in front of us. It's tag added. So remember how that Zap ran and added a tag? When that happens, the contact is now tagged. He was already there. The contact, he or she, was already on Mailchimp, thanks to one Zap. Second Zap runs, tags that contact. Yeah. And the moment that happens, this customer journey starts because the starting point I'm selecting is tag added. Yeah. So now which tag? Tagged red. Yeah. This is the tag we're looking out for. This is the one, and then save starting point. Okay, this is the visual thing I was talking about. It's very like in front of you. So let's start off with an email over here, and I have to kind of move myself from some. Yeah. So let's start off with an email. Let's start a send off, and let's configure this email. Let's tell them, and let's rename this and like let's make this welcome mail. Save. The email address would be different. Let's say the email address is also ABC, and let's make this my personal email ID, which is this one. Yeah. So, and I save this. Okay, this must be verified before we go. So what we can do is I can use my client email ID because I'm just using this for the sake of it. We're not going to test this. I can't test this in that case. The subject of the email would be welcome mail, maybe. Welcome mail. The preview text would be the same. You could, I mean, content all of us can write, so feel free to work on the content. Let's select a template. And when we do that, let's go down to, okay, my internet is, yeah, simple text. Just keeping it a very simple mailer, like nothing at all, just to show you how it works. I want to show you the journey, not the content thing. So let's change this, all of this thing. So if you've worked on Mailchimp, this would be familiar. You'll be familiar to this. If you haven't, then it will take a little bit of time. Save and close. Save and return to journey. Yeah. So the first email is set. The moment somebody is tagged, he will receive this first email. Correct? Yeah, so that's the starting point. The first email is this. Now, there could be two responses to this, yeah? One, that person could respond, and two, that person may not respond, correct? So let's put an if-else condition over here. Good. Now, you could add delays, yes? You could add delays, you could wait for a couple of days, just add, like you click on wait, and then you add on one of the plus buttons that you have over here. So then you could delay for a day, maybe. You send one email, you don't want to spam that person, right? You can wait for a day, you can delay your activity. This is simple. I'm just showing you the if-else condition. So if the person yes path, so what yes? What is the condition? The condition is that campaign activity opened, and so it would be campaign activity. And I want to send that person a second mailer if he opens my mail and not any of the last mails. This mail, the one I just create, the welcome mail I'm sending out. So if you signed up for my newsletter and if you opened up my first welcome mail, I want to go back to you. I want to reach out back to you. Yes. And if you didn't, I want to follow up with you. I'll show that in a minute. So if you open my welcome mail, the yes condition is activated. And in the yes condition, let us write another mail, which is basically send another email which says that, but before that, understand this. Because you opened my mail, now you're a warm lead. You're not a cold lead anymore. You're a warm lead. So I should probably tag you in a different way. I should probably tag you, hey, listen, this guy is a warm lead. Yeah, on Mailchimp. The integration will happen later on HubSpot. I'm not showing that. But if you open my mail, you're a warm lead now. So I should probably tag you. And to do that, I will add a remove tag. And let's say I add a tag to you, to the contact, sorry. And let's say this tag is, let's say warm leads, yeah, this one. And I select an option, add. So the moment you open my mail, you get added, you're tagged as warm lead right now. Save. This one's done. Okay, the second email, this is the email I send you when you have already opened my mail once, right? We are in the yes condition right now. So let's say this like you opened our mail, and we'll just copy paste this everywhere so it writes properly. Yeah, this is it. Let's make the email address to a different one. Let's yeah, this could be ABC, and the email ID could be something like this. Cool. Yes. Okay. The subject line stays as whatever subject you might choose to do. I'm just being quick about this. We don't want to waste time. And then we select a template. Yeah. And we select the basic template. You could work around with this mailer. You could create havoc with this mailer. Feel free to do whatever you want, but I'm just being very nominal with this. So let's change this to this, save and close. This is done. Save and return to journey. So one branch of my my customer journey is ready. So if a person clicks on my mail, he is tagged as a warm lead, and he gets a second mail, a special attention mail, right? What happens if it doesn't open my mail? So that's a no condition. And here I will set up a follow-up mail, right? So I believe email like digital marketers have done email for the last few months, years, whatever. You'll know what a follow-up mail means, right? So let's send the follow-up email, and let's now you could add delays over here. Like I said, you don't want to send the follow-up mail immediately. You want to add a delay, a 1-day delay, 2-day delay, right? And this email ID could mean anything. I'm not defining this. This is a follow-up mail, right? Or do you want me? I'll just do that. Follow-up mail one. Yeah. Save. Let's copy this controls. Yeah. And let's change this ABC. Let's change the email ID to my email ID. Don't want to be spamming people. And then this is to be edited. This becomes this. Preview text becomes this. Save. And again, you choose a template. You select a template, the simplest of templates that you have. Yeah, this one. And you basically complete this, save, and return to journey. Cool. Yeah. So this is a customer journey. This is what happens, and it on Mailchimp is very clearly defined. So it starts off when a audience is tagged. Then that person gets a welcome email. If he opens that mail, he is now given special attention. He's tagged as a warm lead and pushed back to HubSpot, interacted with HubSpot. So that is a separate video. And he gets a second special mail, attention mail. If it doesn't open, then he gets a follow-up mail. And then probably he exits, right? Then if you want to send the third, fourth mail, now a branching, understand that a branching could happen from here as well. He might open up the second mail. He doesn't open the first mail, but he opens the second mail. Then a branching happens from here. Same way as this one happened, yeah? So you could kind of work around this as much as you can. And then we continue with this. And I think, yeah, resolve this issue journey. But I think the email IDs that we use were not verified. So this is happening. But yeah, this is how it is. This is how you set up a customer. Oh, okay. The content is not ready. Please make sure emails content is ready to send emails content. We didn't write proper content, right? So we just copy pasted everything. So Mailchimp doesn't allow that. That's how it is. That's how you create a customer journey, and you branch as much as possible. You make it curated to certain audiences. That's how it is. I can't show you a live demo of this automated process because there's a lot of moving parts over here, and but it does work. I mean, as you can see from my zaps, all of these are on, and how the contact got added. So it does work, of course, and that's how it is. If you want me to specifically make you understand, you could reach out to me if you have any questions. My email ID would be in the description, and if you specifically want me to kind of work with you on the basis of tagging back, how to communicate back, basically these two zaps, how these two zaps work, communicating back to HubSpot based on tags, let me know. I'll do that. But as of now, I think we're good. So yeah, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.